Hey guys, I'm back here with just my guesswork video for this week's fight, Felder versus Dos Anjos. Don't really know too many people on the card. It's kind of not really a no-name card, but there's only a couple fights where people might know a name or two, unless you're I don't know, you're very good at following fighters who are fighting not as frequently, which is hard for everyone. So I got like 4 or 5 fights I'm going to talk about, as well as of course the main event. I think it's going to be a great fight, but let's dive in. The first fight I want to talk about on the prelims. It's Jose Quinones versus Luis Smolka. I don't know Luis Smolka too well. He's 16-7. Jose Quinones last fought, he got knocked out by Sean O'Malley. But Jose Quinones is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Luis Smolka's been in 2 of his last 3 fights. He's been submitted. For this one, I think Jose wins. I think he gets that bounce back win. He hasn't fought since early March. So, I mean, I got him for that one. That's just the first one popped into my mind when I first saw the fight card. I think Jose gets that done, but I wouldn't be surprised Luis gets the win as well because 16-7, he's fought some decently tough guys, so it could be a tough one, but I think Jose gets a second round submission. After that, move on to the main card. You got Eric Anders, whatever you want. I'm just bad at English today, apparently. Eric Anders versus Antonio Arroyo. For this one, Eric Anders is 2-2 his last 4 fights. Antonio Arroyo lost his first fight in the UFC. I think it was his first fight in the UFC by decision. For this one, I want to go with Eric Anders. I like watching him fight. He just puts the pressure on you. As well, Antonio hasn't fought in a year, just about a year. So having that much time off, you say ring rust isn't real, but it can be for some people, especially when you took a loss like that. So I'm gonna go with Eric Anders for this one. Probably a decision win. That would make the most sense in my opinion. After that, you got Brendan Allen versus Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland fought 3 weeks ago. He fought very, very recently and won a decision, a very good decision against a tough guy. He's funny, he talks a lot of crap in the octagon, so he's fun to watch. Anyone who fights back to back within a couple weeks, I'm on board with them because I know they're feeling very good about themselves. Everything's on point. They got no injuries. They feel healthy. They're in shape. I have to go with Sean Strickland for this one. I think he gets decision win, but this will be a good fight. I think Sean Strickland versus Brian Allen will be a good fight, maybe fight of the night. Yeah, probably. And then after that, you got Paul Felder and Rafael dos Anjos. That's the main event. Paul Felder stepping in off 5 days' notice. For this one, I have to go with Felder. I know it's like, oh, come on, because he steps in at 5 days' notice. He's not the favorite to win the fight, but him talking about his dad all week and how he's fighting for his dad, he was felt ungrateful for what the success that he's had. So this is like a reset for him. When someone starts talking about that kind of stuff, you have to start listening, especially since I was worried about his weight, but he only dropped 15 pounds in 5 days, which sounds like a lot, but for fighters, it doesn't seem to be too much, especially since they dropped 4 or 5 pounds on that last day. So I'm fine with the weight cut. He didn't look as bad as he's looked in the past, so that's something. As well as he's been training for long. I think it was a marathon or a triathlon. He's something long distance, so he's in good shape. He's in good shape. He has lots of miles under him in the last couple weeks, in the last couple months actually. So I like that. His last fight was also against Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker, tough guy, top 5 guy. A lot of people thought that Paul Felder might have won that fight against Hooker, but that's up in the air. That's way in the past now. Rafael dos Anjos lost his fight. Last fight was against Michael Quesada. That was back in January. He lost a decision to that one, and Quesada looked good. Granted, that was at 170, so things have changed. This being at 155, I feel like Dos Anjos has a lot of pressure on him to win. He's lost his last 2 fights. You're switching down weight class again. You're expected to do well because you're making all these changes. There's a lot of pressure on him, especially now that he's facing a guy that is showing up in 5 days' notice. So there's no pressure on Felder to do well, really. But when he starts talking about his dad and losing him to cancer and not grieving and like this is a second chance for him and he should be grateful, and he starts rattling off these things that Paul Felder's talking about, I find him dangerous, man. So I got Paul Felder for the main event. I think he gets a knockout, maybe second or third round. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a great, great fight. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.